Y'all set and ready for your presence, y'all.
That one we put in.
Yeah,
Not that crazy.
Retarded.
I gotta stay quiet now.
All right, deputies, are we ready?
Yes, y'all.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 11 o'clock here on July 21st of 2024. And this is first appearance here this morning in Clayton County. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe, and I'm one of the associate magistrate judges here in Clayton County. Ladies and gentlemen, as we go through this morning, if you are having trouble hearing me, please let me know because there are a few things that I'd like to go over prior to starting that are going to be very important. Most importantly, and you're going to hear me say this a few times, I am not here to try your case or take a plea or have any legal discussion about the specific facts of your case. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what you're charged with. That's the purpose of the preliminary hearing. I'm going to advise you of certain rights. We're going to set bond, and we're going to schedule a preliminary hearing where necessary. But we cannot talk specifically about your case because this is being recorded, and there are witnesses, obviously the deputies, as well as those others around you and on this recording that become witnesses. Now, as I said, you have several rights. Most importantly, you have the right to remain silent. As I said, we are recording this. But in addition to the right to remain silent, you have the right to a presumption of innocence. You have the right to an indictment by grand jury for felonies and by accusation for misdemeanors. You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your own behalf. You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to offer evidence in your own defense. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford one, I will consider qualifying and appointing one for you this morning. And lastly, if you are not a citizen here of the U.S., some of these charges may adversely affect you. And so the strongest suggestion I can make for you is to please consider speaking with an immigration attorney. Now, in addition to advising each of you of what you are charged with, I'm also, as I said, going to set bond where I can. There are three ways to make bond. Bond is that amount of money, of course, that will allow you to be released till your case is closed. You can make bond by paying it out in straight cash. You can make bond by using a bonding company where you can't afford the bond in full, or you can use a property bond. The first example of bonding out in cash would be if I tell you you're charged with battery family violence, and I tell you your bond is $6,000, then you or someone you know would have to bring $6,000 up to the sheriff's office along with any mandated sheriff's fees, and the sheriff would hold that bond until your case is closed, and then they'll return the money to you. Now, if you want to use a bonding company, instead of having to come up with the full amount, you would only have to come up with anywhere from 12 to 15%. And so my same example that I spoke of earlier, if you were charged with battery family violence and your bond amount was $6,000, you would only have to come up with about $450,000, about $750. The difference is, however, you don't get that money back. That remains with the bonding company. The last way to make bond, as I mentioned, would be a property bond. At that point, either you or someone you know would have to bring the deed to their home, their property, up to the sheriff's office. The sheriff would hold it until such time as your case is closed. The difference, however, again, for that one is you have to have, or someone who uses their deed has to have at least 3 times the amount of equity as your bond. And so if your bond is $6,000, they have to have at least $18,000 in equity. Now, as far as the bond goes, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that if your case has an alleged victim, that alleged victim, whether it's your mom, girlfriend, boyfriend, daughter, son, whomever, friend, they cannot come and bond you out. Now, in addition to bond, in addition to telling you what your charges are, some of you all may have specific provisions which prohibit you from doing things. I may tell you that you are to stay away from certain people. That means you are to have no contact with that person. You may not call, text, email, write a letter, or contact through any social media platform. You can't even do something as nice as write a letter or send them a song, as that will be in violation of this bond order today. When I tell you you cannot return to certain places, that means don't go there for any reason. If it turns out that the place I told you don't go to is a place that you lived at before this offense happened, please, in most circumstances, I have added a provision which says you can go back there, but you can only go back within 10 days of your release, and you must be with an officer from the Clayton County Sheriff's Deputy. And understand that your failure to abide by any of my bond requirements will subject you to new felony charges, as well as up to 20 years in prison and a $20,000 fine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here before we begin, just a few other things. Lastly, there are some of you who are charged with misdemeanors. Now, if you're charged with a felony, you automatically, if you don't bond out, you get what's called a preliminary hearing. If you're charged with a misdemeanor, however, you have a right to have that hearing, or you can do what we call is waive that hearing. A preliminary hearing is not your trial. You haven't been officially charged yet. That's where you are present, the police officer is present, your attorney is present, and the judge is present. And that's where the evidence is presented by the police, and then the judge must determine if there is enough evidence to go forward to the prosecutor on your case, okay? If there is not, your case can be dismissed right there. And however, please keep in mind that it can be brought back at a later time. Now, there occasionally are people who want to waive their right to that hearing. Waiving simply means you're telling me, Judge, I don't want to have that hearing, and I'd rather go straight to the prosecutor. And it does allow your case to move a little faster if you decide to wait. Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have everyone please raise your right hand. All right. Now, do you swear or affirm that the information that you will give here during today's hearing, as well as that what you provided on the documents prior to today's court date, if you swear that that is the truth, so help you God? If I could have you just repeat, I do.
I do.
All right. All right, Deputy, I think we had 3 Hispanic-speaking individuals.
Yes, ladies. Yes, we do, Your Honor. I'm about to bring them up.
Okay.
No, 3.
All right, Ms. Tolles, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
I think did you hear me, Ms. Tolles?
Yes, can you hear
Oh,
me?
Yes, ma'am. I
Good
hear you.
morning.
Good morning. All right, if I could, Ms. Tolles, go ahead and swear you in. Could you please raise your right hand?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the information that you're going to provide here and transmit from
Gotcha.
English to Spanish and Spanish to English will be the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hola, señores. Buenas tardes. Les voy a servir de intérprete en esta audiencia de hoy.
I'm sorry, Ms. Tolles, you have low volume.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can raise it. Is this any better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hola, señores. Buenas tardes. Les voy a servir de intérprete hoy día. Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, Your Honor.
All right, if you would go ahead. Good morning, individuals. My name is Marcus Thorpe.
Buenas tardes. Buenos días, perdón. Señores, yo soy el juez Marcus Thorpe.
And I am here this morning, gentlemen, to discuss with each of you what you have been arrested for, as well as give you some information as to how your case will proceed moving forward.
Estoy aquí para hablar con ustedes sobre la razón por su arresto y darles información para poder seguir en este proceso judicial.
Most importantly, gentlemen, let me please remind you that you are not to discuss with me the specifics of your case. And so during the time that we are talking here this morning, please, we're going to talk generally, but do not ask me any questions or tell me anything about your case. I'm just here to make sure that you understand what you are charged with and give you a bond if you are allowed this morning.
Y de mayor importancia, señor, por favor, no intenten hablar conmigo sobre los hechos específicos de su caso. Vamos a tener una plática general, pero no me hagan preguntas ni me digan hechos específicos de su caso. Estoy aquí para asegurar que ustedes entienden cuáles son los cargos que se le han formulado y de cuánto es su fianza solamente.
Now, as we go through this today, however, gentlemen, please remember you have the right to remain silent.
Mientras estamos en esta audiencia de hoy, señores, acuérdense por favor que ustedes tienen el derecho a permanecer callados.
You have the right to a presumption of innocence.
Tienen derecho a ser presuntos inocentes.
You have the right to a grand jury for a felony or accusation for misdemeanor.
Tiene derecho al gran jurado cuando se trata de delitos graves o a una acusación cuando se trata de delitos menores.
You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Tienen derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante un jurado.
You have a right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify for you.
Tienen el derecho a exigir la presencia de testigos para que declaren a su nombre.
You have a right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Tienen el derecho a ver, a escuchar e interrogar los testigos que se presentan en su contra.
You have a right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
Tienen el derecho a declarar a nombre suyo o a presentar pruebas en su defensa.
You have a right to have an attorney represent you, and if you can't afford one, I will consider appointing one for you this morning.
Tienen el derecho a un abogado para que los represente. Y si no pudiera costear un abogado, yo consideraría nombrarle uno.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, we will talk this morning about whether you are able to make bond.
Señores, vamos a hablar esta mañana sobre si ustedes pueden pagar la fianza.
And there are three ways to make bond.
Y hay tres maneras de pagar la fianza.
The first way would be if once I tell you how much your bond is, you are able to pay that in full.
La primera manera es una vez que le informe de la cantidad total de la fianza, si
Okay.
pueden pagarlo por completo.
However, please remember that if you choose to pay it in full, the sheriff will hold that money and then will return it once your case is closed.
Acuérdese, por favor, que si ustedes optan por pagar la fianza por completo, entonces el alguacil de la cárcel guardará el dinero hasta que su caso se cierre y luego después se devolverá la fianza pagada.
If you do not have the full amount to pay the bond, you can use a bonding company wherein you would only be responsible for 15% of the bond amount.
Si no tuviera la cantidad total de la fianza, podría hacer uso de una compañía comercial de fianzas y en este caso solamente tendría que pagar un porcentaje de la fianza.
However, that money will not be returned to you.
Sin embargo, ese dinero no se le devolverá.
The last way to make bond would be the use of a property bond.
La última manera de pagar la fianza será a través de una propiedad.
And in that situation, either you or someone you know would have to bring the deed to their property for the sheriff to hold until your case is closed.
Y en ese caso, usted o alguien que usted conoce tendría que presentar la escritura de una propiedad para que la oficina del alguacil guarde ese documento hasta que su caso se cierre.
Now, for each of you, you are going to have special conditions attached to your bond.
Cada uno de ustedes tendrán condiciones especiales con la fianza.
It is going to require that you either stay away from certain people or that you are not to return certain places.
Y esas condiciones especiales requieren que se mantengan alejados de ciertas personas o que no vuelvan a ciertos lugares.
Please make sure that if I tell you one of these two things, that you follow my instructions because it could result in additional felony charges as well as a $20,000 fine.
Por favor, asegúrese de que si yo le informe que tiene esas condiciones o una de esas condiciones, que se acate a esas normas, porque si no, puede resultar en la formulación de cargos graves en su contra o una multa de hasta $20,000.
Now, if I tell you not to have contact with someone, that means you cannot email, write, or text them.
Si yo le informe que no puede tener contacto con una persona en particular, eso significa que no puede enviarle correos electrónicos, mensajes de textos. Your Honor, the interpreter has missed one. Emails, text messages, and?
Or write them.
Tampoco le puede escribir cartas.
Okay. Any of those would be a violation and cause you to be rearrested.
Cualquiera de esos actos sería un infringimiento de sus normas de fianza y resultará en su arresto nuevamente.
Lastly, each of you has been charged with a misdemeanor.
Por último, a cada uno de ustedes se le ha formulado delitos menores.
And that means that each of you will have to consider whether you would like me to give you what is called a preliminary hearing, or if you want to bypass that.
Y cada uno de ustedes entonces tendrá que decidir si quisiera tener una audiencia preliminar o si prefiere pasar por alto la audiencia preliminar.
A preliminary hearing is when you are present, the judge is present, as well as the officer who arrested you to go over the facts of your case.
Una audiencia preliminar es una audiencia en la cual está presente usted, el juez, el agente que lo arrestó para repasar los hechos de su caso.
It is not your trial, it's simply where they review the facts to determine if there is enough evidence to go forward on your case.
No es el juicio, es solamente una audiencia para que ellos repasen los hechos y para que determinen si existen suficientes pruebas para que el caso siga adelante.
Now, each of you will have that choice because you may decide that you don't want the hearing and you simply want me to move your case along faster.
Ahora, cada uno de ustedes tiene la opción de elegir porque tal vez prefieren no tener la audiencia para que yo pueda mover su caso más rápido.
Now, if I could have up first Mr. Jason Cruz, please.
Si el señor Jason Cruz puede pasar adelante primero.
All right, are you Mr. Cruz?
¿Es usted el señor Cruz?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Cruz, you are charged with 1 count of obstruction of an officer and 1 count of battery.
Muy bien, señor Cruz. A usted se le ha formulado los cargos de obstrucción a un agente de policía y acometimiento.
These are both misdemeanors, sir.
Ambos son delitos menores, señor.
Would you like for me to set the preliminary hearing date that I mentioned to you, or would you like to waive that hearing as I also gave you the option?
Quisiera, señor, que yo programe la fecha de su audiencia preliminar que ya le mencioné, o prefiere usted renunciar a la audiencia.
Oh, my apologies, Mr. Cruz. Your obstruction is a felony, sir. So my apologies, but your next court date is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m.
Perdón, señor. El cargo de obstrucción es a nivel grave, así que su audiencia preliminar será programada para el 12 de agosto a las 8:30.
Now, as to your bond, sir, the bond amount for the obstruction, $5,000, and the bond amount for the battery, $3,500.
En cuanto a la fianza para el cargo de obstrucción a un agente de policía es $5,000 y la fianza para acometimiento es de $3,500.
Are you currently working, sir?
¿Está trabajando actualmente, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
How much are you making per month?
¿Cuánto está ganando al mes?
1,500.
1,500.
All right, sir. So I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. So you will have a lawyer free of charge for you, okay?
Muy bien, señor. Entonces yo ya le voy a designar un abogado de oficio, así que usted tendrá un abogado para representarle sin costo alguno para usted.
All right, sir. That's all I have for you this morning, unless you have some questions for me.
Muy bien, señor. Esto es la información que tengo para usted, a no ser que usted tenga preguntas para mí.
No.
No.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
All right, if I could have Mr. Nelson Figueroa.
Señor Nelson Figueroa, adelante, por favor.
Are you Mr. Figueroa?
¿Es usted el señor Figueroa?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Figueroa, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of disorderly conduct.
Señor Figueroa, a usted se le ha imputado un cargo de invadir una propiedad privada y un cargo de conducta escandalosa.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have a right, that preliminary hearing I mentioned, but you also have a right to waive that hearing as well. Which would you like to do here this morning?
Como yo mencioné anteriormente, señor, como usted solamente tiene cargos menores, tiene la opción a tener la audiencia preliminar o usted puede optar por renunciar a la audiencia preliminar. ¿Cuál preferiría el señor hacer?
La verdad no sé cuál elegir porque no sé cómo funciona ninguna de las dos, pues si se trata de dinero, pues no tengo ni dinero ni familia en ese lugar, así que pues,
The
sinceramente,
interpreter is going to ask him to repeat, Your Honor. ¿Cómo dijo, señor? No le escuché bien.
pues no sé cuál elegir o si porque pues no sé de qué se trata, pues de dinero no tengo acá, no tengo familia ni nada acá.
I don't know which to choose. I'm not sure what to do. If it's about money, I don't have money and I don't have family here.
Y,
So
pues,
what I would like to do then, sir, so as not to confuse you, is I will set the hearing date for you as August 13th of this year at 8:30 a.m.
Entonces, lo que voy a hacer, señor, para que no esté confundido, voy a programar la fecha de su audiencia preliminar para el 13 de agosto de este año.
mejor le elijo ahora, pues de todas maneras el traspaso que me pusieron pues mi patrón, yo ahí trabajo en ese lugar, simplemente quien me metió preso fue el hijo del patrón, no fue ningún jefe, así que eso pues no está bien.
So as far as the trespassing, I wasn't trespassing, I worked there, and it was the son of the boss that had me arrested. It wasn't anybody in charge there.
Okay. Now, remember, sir, I said earlier, I can't talk to you about the specifics of your case, okay?
Acuérdese, señor, como mencioné anteriormente, yo no puedo hablar con usted sobre los hechos específicos de su caso.
Ujú.
Okay. Now, let me give you your bond amount.
Ahora, déjame decirle de cuánto es su fianza.
Okay.
For the criminal trespass, your bond amount is $2,500 and the disorderly conduct, $1,500.
Para el cargo de invadir una propiedad privada, la fianza es de 2,500 y la fianza de conducta escandalosa es 1,500, señor.
And unless your bond is modified, sir, you are to stay away from that address, 6125 Old Dixie Road.
Y a no ser que se modifique su fianza, tiene que mantenerse alejado de esa dirección, que es 6125 de la Old Dixie Road.
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you this morning, sir. Good luck to you.
Bueno, señor, es toda la información que tengo para usted. Buena suerte.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, if I could have lastly, Mr. Mendoza.
Que pase el señor Mendoza, por favor.
Good morning, sir.
Buenos días, señor.
Buenos
Good
días.
morning.
Mr. Mendoza, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass as a misdemeanor.
Señor Mendoza, a usted se le ha imputado un cargo de invadir una propiedad privada como delito menor.
Okay. And as I mentioned earlier on the preliminary hearing, would you like to have that hearing, sir, or waive that hearing?
Y como mencioné antes sobre la audiencia preliminar, ¿quisiera tener la audiencia o renunciar a la audiencia?
Vamos a renunciar.
I'd like to waive.
All right. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to the hearing this morning, sir. Are you working right now?
Entonces voy a indicar aquí que usted va a renunciar al derecho a la audiencia preliminar esta mañana. Señor, ¿está usted trabajando? Yes.
And how much are you making per month?
¿Y cuánto está ganando al mes?
3,450.
450.
So I will give you a lawyer free of charge that will help you on your case, okay?
Le voy a proporcionar un abogado sin costo alguno para usted, para ayudarle en su caso. ¿Está bien?
All right. Lastly, sir, I need to tell you your bond amount is $1,500.
Por último, señor, le tengo que informar que tiene una fianza de $1,500.
Okay. You are to stay away from Laura Chaveria
Tiene que mantenerse alejado de Laura Chevería
and also the address 2803 Ridge View Trail.
y no puede volver más a la dirección 2803 de la Ridge View Trail.
¿Puedo pedir que me acompañe policía para retirar nada más mis cosas, mi ropa y mis cosas?
May I have an officer accompany me to pick up my things, my clothes, and
Yes, sir. That was what I was going to mention. If you bond out, please make sure that you ask one of them to accompany with you there and you set an appointment.
sí, señor, eso mismo se lo iba a mencionar. Si usted sale en libertad bajo fianza, por favor, pídale a uno de los alguaciles que le acompañe, haga una cita para que le acompañe a retirar sus cosas.
All right, sir. That's all I have for you this morning. Thank you.
Muy bien, señor. Es toda la información que tengo para usted. Gracias.
¿Y mi audiencia para cuándo sería?
And my hearing, when would it be?
Your hearing would be, excuse me if I didn't say so, it would be, well, actually, you said you wanted to waive it. Do you want me to set it now for you?
Bueno, señor, usted indicó que quería renunciar a la audiencia. Oh, okay. ¿Prefiere programar la audiencia, señor?
No, no, no.
No, that's fine.
Okay. All right, sir. Do you have any other questions of me?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta más para mí, señor?
No.
No.
All right, sir. The only other thing I need from you this morning here is as you step to the right there, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign, that will be all for you this morning.
La única otra cosa que necesito de usted, señor, usted va a pasar a su mano derecha y los alguaciles ahí van a tener un documento para que usted lo firme. Y una vez que lo firme, será todo, señor.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Gracias, señor, y buena suerte.
Actually, that concludes our Spanish speakers for today's calendar.
All right. Thank you. And I believe it should be Miss Cape and Miss Sasha Gay Scott.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, Miss Tolles. You too, as always. All right. Are you Miss Cape? Ms. Cape, you were charged with 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, and you were also charged with possession of a drug-related objects, ma'am. These are misdemeanors, so as I mentioned earlier, you have a right to that preliminary hearing I mentioned, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do this morning, ma'am? All right, so I am going to show that you are waiving your preliminary hearing this morning. After your bond, the marijuana carries a bond of $1,500. The drug-related objects carries a bond amount of $500 for a total of $2,500. Do you, excuse me, of $2,000. Do you understand that, ma'am? Now, with what I have here, based on the information I have, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so you will have a lawyer free of charge that will help you on your case. Okay, ma'am? All right, ma'am. Do you have any questions before I let you go?
No, I just pay the bond and then I'm allowed to go home today.
Yes, ma'am. Once you pay that bond, you'll be released in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Before you step away, though, ma'am, please understand that the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign. And then once you sign that, you'll be good to go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Yes. Yeah, fine. Free
Go ahead, right there, see your last name.
All right. Are you Miss Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Scott, you are charged with 2 misdemeanors, violation of a limited driving permit and driving with the license suspended, ma'am. These are misdemeanors. Based on the information that I have before me, ma'am, I am going to go ahead and release you today without paying bond. Now, please understand, ma'am, that does not mean that your case is closed, okay? It's still open. It just means that you don't have to pay bond to get out. Please understand that you need to make sure that you've got a good address for them to send in the mail when your next court date comes, okay?
Thank you.
Did you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
All right, ma'am. Good luck to you. You'll have actually, before I let you go, you're going to have a piece of paper that the deputy is going to need for you to sign. And then once you sign that, you'll be good to go.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Pero,
All right. So it should be Blair, excuse me, Blaylock, Brimage, and Colston with Blair Lab. Yep, I've got Blair, Blaylock, Brimage, and Colston. No
Blair's
worries.
gonna be at the end of the calendar.
Yeah, Blair's. I keep saying his name because I'm looking at it.
Going to Blaylock.
Blaylock, Brimage, Colston.
Rest of you have a seat on the bench.
All right. And are you Mr. Blaylock, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Blaylock, you were charged in this with the allegations by the police officers with disregarding a traffic control device, reckless driving, 1 count of fleeing and attempting to elude is a felony, 1 count of an operation of an unregistered vehicle, obstruction and improper operation of a motorcycle, failure to stop at a stop sign, operating a vehicle without insurance, and reckless conduct. Sir, I have gone ahead and dismissed the fleeing and attempting to elude, which was a felony, as well as the disregarding of a traffic control device, because there was information there that I was missing in order to make an accurate determination. Now, that means you have only misdemeanors remaining, sir. Because you have misdemeanors remaining, you have the right to the preliminary hearing that I mentioned, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do, sir? Have the hearing or waive the hearing?
I have the hearing.
All right, sir. So I hear that you are asking me to go ahead and set your preliminary hearing. So as of right now, because you only have misdemeanors, that means your hearing is going to be on August 13th. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's August 13th. That's 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom, okay?
Okay.
Now, I want to talk to you next about the actual bond amount that you have.
Okay.
Beginning with that first charge, the reckless driving carries a bond of $1,000. The unregistered vehicle, $500. The obstruction, $2,500. Improper operation of motorcycle, $500. Failure to stop at a stop sign, $500. No insurance, $500. Reckless conduct, $2,500. So your total bond amount is $8,000. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, I've reviewed the information that you filled out with respect to the request for an attorney. I have approved that, sir, and so you will have an attorney free of charge to work with you on your case, okay?
Okay. So the charge that means the one charge that you said that you dropped, is that still being counted for the
bond?
for the bond, correct?
No, sir, it is not.
Okay.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next man up.
All right, are you Mr. Brimage?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brimage, you are charged here with one count of suspended license, driving on a canceled registration, and operating a vehicle with no insurance. Sir, I have had.
That's the same one I was in?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Brimage?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, so I have had a chance to, sir, review the information that you provided to me. Now, based on that information, sir, I am going to go ahead and release you here this morning. As I said to the gentleman earlier, doesn't mean that your case is closed. It just means that you don't have to post bond, okay? You will still have to have a new court date. You're just going to get that court date in the mail. Do you understand that?
Got it.
Are you currently working, sir?
Yes, sir.
About how much are you earning per month?
120.
What do you mean, 120?
120,000.
Okay. So based on that, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so what that means is you would like an attorney to help you with these traffic charges. You will have to hire your own. Do you understand that, sir?
Got it.
Now, because I'm releasing you today, the deputies are going to have a piece of paper over there to your right that you will need to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, sir, you're good to go.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Next man up.
Are you Mr. Colston?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Colston, you were charged with one count of driving with suspended license, possession of marijuana over an ounce, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, sir. These are felonies. Your next court date, should you not make bond, is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. As to your bond amount for the suspended license is $2,500. For the possession of marijuana, $8,000, and for the firearm, $8,000, for a total of $18,500. Do you understand that, sir? Are you currently working, sir?
Yes.
And how much are you earning per month?
I just started my job. I only been working for 2 days.
Okay, got it. So I am gonna go ahead, sir, and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. It means you'll have a lawyer free of charge to help you on your case, okay? Other than that, sir, that is all I have for you here this morning. As I said, you will get the lawyer free of charge. Your next court date, if you don't make bond, will be 8/12 for your preliminary hearing. And unless you have questions for me, you are good to go. All right, next up should be Cooper, Cozart, and Dunn. All right, and are you Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Cooper here, you are charged with operation of a vehicle without a validated decal, possession of a drug-related object, and possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. These are all misdemeanors, sir. And because they are all misdemeanors, then you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that hearing. Now, I had a chance, sir, to review the information that you provided to me this morning. And based on that information, I am going to go ahead and release you here this morning. Now, that does not mean that your case is closed. Your case is still open. I'm just going to let you out while you're dealing with it, okay?
Okay.
So as you leave here today, please understand that you need to make sure that whatever last known address is a good address so that when they go to send you your court date, you'll get it in the mail, okay?
Okay.
Let me ask you, are you currently working, sir?
Yes, but I don't know how much I make a month because I just started the job.
You just started? Okay. So based on that, sir, I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning. So that means your lawyer will be free of charge and you don't have to pay for it, okay?
Okay.
So sir, that's all I have for you this morning. Do you have any questions of me?
No, thank you.
All right, so one last thing, sir. As you step there to your right, the deputies will have a piece of paper that they're gonna have you sign because you're being released. You're waiving your right to that preliminary hearing. And once you sign that, Mr. Cooper, then you are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be Cozart and then Dunn.
Done.
All right, are you Mr. Cozart?
Done.
You done?
Yes.
Did I just do? Deputies, did we do Cozart? I thought that was. Oh, that was no?
No, we did Cooper and Colston.
So we haven't, hold on, they're out of order. Sir, your name is Dunn, correct?
Yes, done. D-U-N-N.
Okay, so we haven't done Cozart yet.
No, we haven't. You're Edward.
Okay.
Where's Cozart?
Let's go back. No, it should be the next.
Okay, and you are done, correct, sir?
Mhm.
Okay, let me. All right, so Mr. Dunn, you are charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, sir. That is a misdemeanor. And because it's a misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to the preliminary hearing that I've talked about, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Which would you like to do, sir?
Waive it.
All right, so I am going to show that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing this morning. So because you are waiving your right, when we get to the end here, the deputies will have a piece of paper that they're going to have you sign, okay?
Okay.
Now, let me talk to you a little bit more. I'm going to talk to you about your bond here. As I said, this is a misdemeanor. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, family violence. Your bond amount is $2,500, sir. You do have a special condition. I believe that there are allegations that you were involved in an altercation with your dad. You're going to have to stay away from that property. Well, it says father. It could be wrong, but Angel Davis, M.I. Angel Davis, and you're going to have to stay away from the property where this happened, okay?
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, are you currently working, sir?
Yes.
How much are you earning per month?
I don't know, it varies.
Okay, about on average, what are you earning?
7.
About 700?
No.
7 what?
1,000.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead, be safe on this one, sir, and appoint you a lawyer free of charge. So you will have a lawyer. You don't have to pay for it. That will be able to help you on your case. Okay, Mr. Dunn?
All right.
Now, because you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing, sir, Mr. Dunn, the deputy is going to have a piece of paper for you to sign. And once you sign that piece of paper, you're good to go. All right. Thank you, sir.
See your last name, okay?
All right. What's your last name, sir?
Cozart.
Okay. All right. So you're Mr.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Mr. Cozart, you are charged with 1 count of forgery in the 2nd degree. That is a felony. That means that if you don't make bond, sir, your next court date is going to be August 12th, and it's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and it's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, can I please have a signature bond?
No, sir, you cannot. Based on the information that I have, sir, I believe that you're actually on probation right now, so I'm not allowed to give you bond.
I'm not on probation.
Well, then your attorney is going to figure that out for you. But from what I have right now, it appears that you are on probation. So I'm not going to be able to.
Probation from where? Don't
Sir,
cut the judge.
hold on. Let me finish. I'm not going to be able to grant you bond this morning. So you've got 2 court dates coming up. You got a court date on August 12th for your preliminary hearing and a court date on August 16th. And that's going to be your bond hearing where they can reconsider bond at that time. All I can tell you is, sir, the information I have appears to show that you're on probation. I believe it's out of another state. If that's incorrect, like I said, I'm going to give you an attorney free of charge, and he's the one that will be able, he or she will be the one to be able to help you with that. Do you understand?
Yes, but can I talk?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, I'm not on probation in another state, but I do have an ongoing case.
I can't, you don't want to talk to me about that stuff though.
But I do wanna clarify that so I could be considered for bond today.
No,
because
sir.
I'm on probation.
It's not gonna happen today. I can tell you now, it's not gonna happen. Do you understand? Sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a way to look into the details to reconsider it?
No,
today?
sir, not today. No, sir.
So I have to sit here to my next court date,
Yes, sir. You'll be there till the 12th,
which is August 12th.
till August 12th. Yes, sir.
We got somebody else coming.
All right.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay. You got a sign?
Yes.
He is charged with felony, so no, he doesn't have to sign.
We gotta sign the jobs.
Oh, he's just signed the judge. Okay. Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Evans, you are charged with one count of battery family violence as a misdemeanor, one count of criminal trespass as a misdemeanor, one count of theft by taking as a felony. Because you are charged with a felony, sir, if you do not make bond, your next court date is going to be August 12th, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yeah.
Now, as to your bond amount, sir, I want to go over that with you. Beginning with the battery family violence, sir, your bond amount is going to be $3,500. As to the criminal trespass, it's going to be $2,500, and as to the theft by taking, it's $5,000. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm going out today.
I'm sorry.
Can I burn out today?
Yes, sir. If you were able to go ahead to get all that accomplished today, yes, sir. You sure can. Now, sir, you do have special conditions on your case. That means you are to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, Miss Kayla Blunt, and that you are also to stay away from the address of 5692 Norman Court. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, lastly, sir, I see you're working. About how much are you earning per month?
Like 12 on it.
Okay, so I will go ahead, sir, and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge. So that means you will have a lawyer that will assist you on your case, whether you bond out or not. Now, if you bond out, sir, like you mentioned earlier, please understand, your lawyer will get in touch with you, but you need to make sure that you've got a good address and a good phone number so they can contact you when they send you your new court date. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right, sir, that's all I have for you. If you don't have any questions for me, we're good to go. Good luck to you, sir. All right, what's your last name, sir, here?
Hickson.
All right, Mr. Hickson. All right, is it Arande?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Arande, you're charged with one count of felony possession of over an ounce of marijuana, one count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, sir. Those are both felonies. That means that if you do not make bond, sir, your next court date is going to be August 12th. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Your bond amount for these two felonies, sir, is $8,000 for the marijuana, $8,000 for the firearm, for a total of $16,000, okay? You hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, lastly, because of the information you provided to me, sir, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge for you to assist you on your case. Do you understand that?
All right.
Okay. Other than that, sir, do you have any other questions for me about anything?
No.
All right, sir. Well, that is all I have for you. I have again gone over all the information for you, and if you don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead, let you go. I believe the deputy is going to have a document for you to sign for the electronic signature for your appointed counsel, but other than that, you're free to go, sir.
I'll get it in a second. Hey, yo, contracts. Okay.
All right, sir. What's your last name? All All right, Mr. Holmes, is Daquan Holmes, is that correct?
Raekwon.
Excuse me, Draquan. Mr. Draquan, you were charged with possession of more than an ounce of marijuana, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, sir. These are both felonies. That means that if you do not make your bond, sir, your next court date is going to be August 12th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, your bond for each of those charges is going to be $8,000 for the marijuana, $1,000 for the firearm, for a total of $16,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I see that you are working, sir. About how much are you earning per month?
Like 35.
Okay. So based on that, sir, if you would like to hire a lawyer for your case, you will have to pay for your own. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So I have given you all of the necessary information that I need to provide to you here this morning. Again, the next court date is going to be the 12th of next month. If you do not make bond, your bond is $16,000. If you don't have any questions for me, sir, that's all I have for you this morning.
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you. All right, sir. Please give me your name.
T. Anthony Hancock.
Mr. Hancock, you are charged with 1 count of by shoplifting, sir. That is a misdemeanor. I have reviewed the information here that you provided to me this morning. Because of the information that I have regarding your case, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to release you here this morning. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me be clear, sir. That does not mean that your case has closed. This simply means that you don't have to post bond at this very moment. However, please make sure that upon your release, you have a good address so that when you are released, once you are accused by the prosecutor, they have a good address for your next court date. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Other than that, I have also given you a attorney free of charge, so you will not have to pay for that. So unless you have any questions for me, you're good to go, sir.
I'm good. Appreciate it.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Are you Mr. Johnson? Hey, I'm sorry, Mr. Lawrence, excuse me.
Of course. Everybody already Big Mac.
All right, so Mr. Lawrence, you are charged here. Get to yours. You are charged here with 1 count of driving with a suspended license, sir. That is a misdemeanor. Because it is a misdemeanor, you have the right, as I mentioned earlier, to determine whether you would like to have that preliminary hearing or if you would like to waive that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do, sir? Okay, so preliminary hearing, as I mentioned earlier, is where you're there, the officer's there, the judge is there, and they have to present evidence, the officer does, about what he has against you to determine if your case goes forward, or we can skip that step and move your case on along a little faster. Which would you like?
Skip.
All right, so I'm going to show, it's called waiver. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to your preliminary hearing here this morning. And so because you are waiving your right to your hearing, sir, there is going to be a document once we are done here this morning that the deputies will have you sign, okay?
Okay.
Now, as far as your bond, sir, your bond amount is going to be $1,500 to bond out. And then I have reviewed some of the information that you provided to me this morning here. Based on the information I have, I've gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer free of charge, okay? All right, thank you, sir. That's all I've got for you. All right, sir. And what's your last name, sir?
Merino, M-E-R-I-N-O.
All right, is Carlos, is that it?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Marino, you were charged with 1 count of battery family violence as a misdemeanor, 1 count of simple battery family violence also as a misdemeanor. Because these are both misdemeanors, sir, you have a right to that preliminary hearing I mentioned, or you can waive that hearing. Which would you like to do, sir?
I'm not really familiar with the process, but what I like to do is if I can pay the bond by myself, because I have nobody else.
Okay, no problem. But in the meantime, I need to express to you that the preliminary hearing is a hearing where you're present, the judge and the officer, as well as you're an attorney, and they present evidence, the officer does, to prove that there is enough for your case to move forward. Or you can tell me, Judge, I don't want that hearing. I'd rather move my case forward and waive that hearing. Which would you like to do, sir?
I like to waive it then.
All right, so I am showing that you are asking me to waive your preliminary hearing this morning. So let me talk about that bond amount that you mentioned. The bond for the battery is going to be $3,500. The bond for the simple battery is also going to be $3,500. So your total bond amount is going to be $7,000. Do you understand that?
I understand.
All right, now you do have special conditions, sir, and they're going to be to stay away from the alleged victim, that is Miss Elvira Allen, and to stay away from the incident location where this allegedly occurred. Do you understand that, sir?
Okay, just I got a question.
Say that again?
I have a question. Just how can I cover my belongings?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, if that is a place that you were living at before this happened, and you make that bond, then once you get out, within 10 days of your release, you need to contact the sheriff's office, let them know, and they will escort you over there, but you are not to go there alone. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
And are you Mr. Patrick?
No, Antonio Price.
Okay. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Mr. Price,
Yes, sir.
you are charged here with 1 count of felony possession of marijuana over an ounce, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and as well as giving a false name to a law enforcement officer. Because these are felonies, sir, your next court date, should you not make bond, is going to be your preliminary hearing. And that's going to be at August 12th. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Your bond amount, sir, is $8,000 for the marijuana, $8,000 for the firearm, and $2,000 for the giving a false name to a law enforcement officer. Do you understand that, sir?
Did you just say 10,000?
No, 8,000, 8,000, and 2,000.
2,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Your total is going to be 18,000. 8 for the marijuana, 8 for the firearm, and 2,000 for the giving of a false name to a law enforcement. Okay. You got me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the
And I
total
got-
bond. Go ahead.
No, you continue.
And the total bond then is 18,000.
And what's the percentage of that if you?
So if you were gonna do a bonding company at 15%, you're looking at about 2,500. Give or take, about 2,500. Based on the information that you provided to me, sir, I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning. So you will get a lawyer free of charge on your case, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir. All right, and are you, and what's your last name here, sir?
Patrick.
All right, Virgil Patrick, is that correct?
Yep.
Mr. Patrick, you are charged with 1 count of driving under the influence. That is a misdemeanor, sir. So you have a right to that preliminary hearing that I spoke of, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Which would you like to do?
Waive it.
All right, sir. So I am going to show that you are waiving your right to the preliminary hearing this morning. Now, as to the bond amount, as I mentioned earlier, you were charged with the 1 count of DUI. That carries a bond here this morning of $5,000. I have reviewed the information that you provided on your appointed counsel information, or document rather. Based on the information that I have, sir, I am not going to be able to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. And so that means that if you would like a lawyer to assist you on your case, you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Well, sir, since you've waived your preliminary hearing, the deputies will have a piece of paper there for you to sign. And once you sign that, you'll be good to go this morning. Good luck to you.
It's kind of froze on here in the article and it's not.
Or on Jots, you mean?
Yeah, on Jots, Virgil Patrick.
He's already, let's see, on my end, everything's already done. It may just, you're catching up. That's the only thing I could think of. I'm done on that one. So we may just have to give it a few moments and let him sit. Are you
Okay.
Mr. Sanders?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
All right, so Mr. Sanders, you are charged with 1 count of speeding, 1 count of felony fleeing, a second count of speeding, reckless driving, super speeder, improper lane change, failure to maintain lane, turn signal violation, reckless conduct, too fast for conditions, improper passing on the right, and improper driving a divided roadway. Now that fleeing is a felony, sir. Because that is a felony, if you don't make bond when we go over here this morning, your next court date is going to be August 12th, 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, because the information that you provided to me here this morning, sir, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a lawyer. You're going to have a lawyer free of charge to help you with this, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to go through those bond amounts. Speeding carries a bond of 1,000, the fleeing 10,000, speeding 1,000, reckless driving 1,000, super speeder 1,000, improper lane change 500, failure to maintain lane 500, turn signal lane violation 500, reckless conduct 2,500. Your total bond is $19,500. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, that is all I have for you this morning. Do you have any questions about anything from me?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering how much is that 15%? If it's 15, if I go.
So 15% of that is going to be about 2,600 for you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
Next person.
All right, and are you Mr. Sanders?
No, sir.
Oh, excuse me.
Sanders, he just
I'm sorry, what's your last name, sir?
Skinner.
Yes, Skinner. I'm sorry, my apologies. I believe it's Tyler Skinner.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Skinner, you are charged here with 1 count of 1 count of improper lane change, 1 count of improper passing on the left, improper use of a central lane, driving with a suspended license, window tint violation, and defective equipment for all traffic charges, and if they are all misdemeanors, sir. Now, because of your information that I was provided here this morning, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer this morning. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case. Do you understand that?
Sir.
Now, also because of some information I was provided here this morning, sir, I am going to go ahead and release you this morning. Please understand, sir, that means it doesn't mean your case is over. It just means you're going to be on bond and you don't have to post bond to get out. So please make sure that we have a last known address here at the sheriff's office so that upon your release, they're going to send you your new court date in the mail, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Skinner, good luck to you. There's going to be a piece of paper the deputies will have you sign, and that'll be it for you today.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, and are you Mr. Smalley, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Smalley, you are charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana over an ounce, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and the criminal use of an article with an altered ID. So essentially a fake tag. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Now, because you are charged with felony, sir, if you do not make your bond, sir, that means your next court date is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, sir?
Yeah, well, no. No.
Okay, which one is it?
No.
Okay. Now, based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and give you a lawyer free of charge for you to assist you in your case. Do you understand that? You hear me, sir? I'm giving you a lawyer free of charge, okay? Now, as to your bond amount, sir, each of those charges carries a bond amount of $8,000. Your total bond amount is going to be $24,000. Do you understand?
What's the percentage of that?
So at 24, you're looking at about $3,600. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right.
All right. Are you Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Stevens, you are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, sir. That is a felony. So your next court date, should you not make bond, is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, the information I have here, sir, I see that you are not working. I am going to go ahead and grant you a lawyer free of charge. Now, your bond amount, sir, is for this 1 count of aggravated assault. It's going to be $25,000. Do you understand that, sir? You understand, sir? Okay. And lastly, sir, you are to stay away from this alleged victim, Isaiah Menorah. So that guy that you were arguing with, please make sure that you don't have any more contact with him until your case is closed. Okay, Mr. Ernest?
Yes.
All right, sir. Well, Mr. Ernest, that's all I have for you, sir. Good luck to you.
Come on, sir. You're going to sign in the open.
Are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Taylor, and it's Mr. Latron Taylor, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You're charged here with 1 count of possession of drug-related objects, 1 count of loitering or prowling, and 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. And now, I had a chance here, sir, to review all of the information that was provided to me about your case. And based on the information that I have, sir, I am going to go ahead and dismiss the felony charge against you. So because I'm dismissing that felony charge, the only thing you'll have remaining against you, sir, will be misdemeanors. So you have a right to, Mr. Taylor, waive the preliminary hearing, or I can set the preliminary hearing court date for you. Which would you like me to do? Have the hearing or waive the hearing?
Right.
All right, so I'm going to show, sir, that you asked me to waive your hearing. So that means that you will not have that hearing, and you will have to make sure there's going to be a document that they're going to have you sign here as soon as you and I are done. So again, the only remaining charges are the possession of a drug-related object, as well as the loitering or prowling. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, give me 1 second, Mr. Taylor. Let me just check one thing here. All right. So, Mr. Taylor, to go over the bond with you, as to the drug-related objects, your bond amount is $500. And as to the loitering or prowling, your bond amount is $1,500. And so your total bond amount, sir, is $2,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Is that a yes? I can barely hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so again, that's $500 and $1,500. Are you currently working, Mr. Taylor?
No.
Okay. Based on that, Mr. Taylor, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, sir, and that's going to be free of charge. So nothing for you to come out of pocket for to help you on your case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm signing off on this document now. And that's all I have for you this morning, sir, unless you have any questions of me about anything.
No.
Say that again.
No, sir.
All right, sir. Well, then that's all I have for you. Good luck to you.
All right.
It's not letting me close his out. So he may not, it may not let him.
It's up for him to sign.
Letting him sign?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see if it. Okay, there it is. All right. And are you Mr. Wood?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Mr. Wood, you are charged with 1 count of simple assault, sir. That is a misdemeanor. That means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive that hearing. What would you like to do this morning?
Come up, Taylor.
I'm sorry?
Waive it.
Okay, so I am going to show here, sir, this morning that you are asking me to waive your preliminary hearing.
It worked. So
Your bond amount, sir, is $7,500, and you do have special conditions. are to stay away from the alleged victim, Ms. Jada Howell, and then also to stay away from the address where this was to alleged to have happened, a 661 Sherwood. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, yes.
Now, and that's what I was gonna get at, sir. I've had that question before. As I mentioned earlier, if that's somewhere that you were living prior to this happening, and you make bond, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release, and you want them to escort you over there. So you want them to go over there with you, but you are not allowed to go over there by yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Well, that's all I have for you this morning, unless you have questions for me.
So you said my bond is what?
$7,500.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yes, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, Your Honor, then it's everybody that's unjust.
Okay.
She signs
I'm ready.
Mr. Blake. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the non facts.
Okay.
Curtis. First up.
Give me 1 second. What's your name, ma'am?
Teria.
Say it one more time.
Teria.
Last name is Curtis.
Yes.
All right. So, Ms. Curtis, you were charged here with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The simple battery carries a bond amount of $2,500, and both cruelties each carry a bond amount of $1,500 for a total bond of $5,500. Do you understand that, ma'am?
I do.
You do have a special condition, and that's to stay away from Mr. Brandon Beaver. Do you understand that?
Correct.
Now, I understand, ma'am, that you all were, it looks as if, from what I can tell, that you all were at the same residence at the time. Yes, because there are children, I am going to go ahead and allow you to remain at the residence. So I'm going to tell Mr. Beaver he cannot. Do you understand?
I do.
Now, these are both misdemeanors, or all 3 are misdemeanors. So, ma'am, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that preliminary hearing. Which would you like to do this morning?
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if I want to be before a trial. I want the officer to come in. So do I waive or do I not waive? Because I don't want it to be prolonged.
You do not waive. So you'll get that hearing. It'll be you, your judge, and the attorney. That's not your trial, like I said, but they'll hear the evidence from the police officer, and then they'll determine, is there enough evidence for it to keep going, or are we going to dismiss this early?
Okay, so I would have to stay here. I wouldn't be able to bond out, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Now, if I do bond out, would I still be able to have that hearing, that trial?
You do not. You do not. No, ma'am. These are good questions. You do not.
So those charges would then be like they're true?
They would move forward to accusation for an officer to review. So I mean, for the prosecutor to review. So here's what I would suggest. Since I know you, based on what you're telling me, I would not waive the hearing, keep the hearing set, and then if you bond out, there's still going to be someone to look at it. It just won't happen as early. If you don't make bond, then you'll have that hearing on the 13th. And like you said, you and your attorney will be there, and then you'll have that opportunity. Because once you waive it, if you were to waive today, then for whatever reason, even if you don't make bond, you've lost your opportunity at that hearing. So I would say don't waive. Let's keep the date on the 13th. And if you end up bonding out, you can always have them review it later.
Okay, so 13th would mean I would need to stay here till the 13th?
To get the hearing, yes, ma'am.
Absolutely not, sir. I've never been arrested before, so I'm ready to go. So I'll wait and move forward from there.
Let me do this. Because you don't have to be here. Let me just set it, because I know you're concerned. I'm setting it for the 13th, but if you end up bonding out, then you just won't have it, okay?
Okay, but I can bond out today if I do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you can make the bond, you can bond out. It'll automatically extinguish itself, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, so again, I've set that hearing for you, but it sounds like you're going to be able to make bond. That bond amount, as we talked about, is $5,500 to stay away from Mr. Beaver. And I looked at the information I have here. You're making about $3,400 a month, ma'am. So unfortunately, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, and so you will have to hire your own, okay?
Correct.
All right, ma'am. That's all I have for you this morning. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just come.
And what's your name, ma'am? Miss Steele?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Steele, you were initially charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, 1 count of criminal trespass, ma'am. I have dismissed the battery, family violence because of some lack of information that the officer provided or didn't provide. The trespass, however, carries a bond amount of $2,500. You do have special conditions, ma'am, and they are to stay away from the alleged victim, Jalen Simpson, as well as the address of 827 Chateau Lane. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, because you have a misdemeanor remaining, ma'am, you have the right to that preliminary hearing that I mentioned, or you can waive it. Which would you like to do?
I'm gonna go ahead and waive it.
All right, ma'am. So I'm going to show that you are waiving your right to that preliminary hearing here this morning. And so what that means is, as you step to the right there, there will be a document that the deputies will have you sign. But before you do, let me ask you one last question. Are you working right now, Ms. Diamond?
Yeah.
Okay, and I see here, based on what I've got here that you're making, ma'am, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And so because you don't qualify, that means you'll have to hire your own if you desire for your case, okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Steele, do you have any questions of me about anything?
Nope. No.
All right, then that's all I have for you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
All right.
You get Beaver. You could put Lindell on the bench. Who? Lindell. I think so. Come right here to them. Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Beaver?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
All right.
All right, so Mr. Beaver, I am showing here you are charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, and 2 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The battery carries a bond amount of $2,500. The cruelty each carry a bond amount of $1,500 for a total bond amount of $5,500. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
I just spoke with Miss Curtis, so please understand, she is to have no contact with you, sir. You are to have no contact with her. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
However, sir, you are also not to return to that address, 9615 Hill Street. Hold on, sir. Hold on. With the information I have right now, I've made that decision. If you need to go there while your case is pending, please contact the sheriff's office when you bond out and they will escort you, but you're not to go there by yourself. If you want that modified, you'll need to speak to your attorney once you are given an attorney. But for today, for right now, you cannot return there on your own. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you working right now, sir?
Yes.
About how much are you making per month?
About 30, between 32 and 35. My job is based on a lot of overtime, so about 32, between 35 and 3,600 a month.
Okay. So based on that, sir, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So you will have to hire your own attorney if you would like one for your case. You understand that?
Yes.
Lastly, sir, because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have the right to that preliminary hearing that I mentioned, or you can waive that right to the hearing. Which would you like to do?
Take it.
So you want the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So your next court date, sir, if you don't make bond, is going to be August 13th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, it's August 13th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Good luck to you, sir.
Yeah. I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
You said the address that you gave me, that's my mother's, and that makes me homeless. How does that work when that's my mother's house?
So I can, right now, I can only go with what I have. So I don't, what you're telling me now, I didn't have that when I make these calls. So that's why I said, when you're off, when you hire your attorney, let them know that, because I got to keep you two separate from one another, and they may be able to work that out for you. But as of right now, with what I have, I had to make that decision.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Then stand in front of the computer.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Dunn.
Mr. Dunn.
Say its full name.
Delon Lindell.
Oh, Linda, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Lindell. All right, Mr. Lindell, you are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault. You were also charged with loitering and prowling and disorderly conduct. The aggravated assault is a felony, sir. So if you do not make bond, your next court date is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Dillon?
No, sir.
All right, so since you are not working, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer will be free of charge. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond amount, sir, the bond for the aggravated assault carries a bond of $25,000. I have dismissed the loitering or prowling and the disorderly conduct. So you're only facing the 1 count of aggravated assault. You do have special conditions should you make bond, and that is to stay away from the alleged victim, Mr. Ricky Perry, from the address of 5141 Jonesboro Road. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, that's all I have for you. Then good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Go stand in the door. Y'all head back down to the house, you can sit straight down the hallway.
You got to know how to get over there, right? From 107 all the way at the end.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. I'm gonna bring up Mr.
Deputy, let me ask you, so all you should have is it Johnson and Blair, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so I had 2. There was a Jaleel Lawrence that was on JOTS. Did he get out to bond? Because he wasn't listed as out to bond. Last name Lawrence.
Jaleel Lawrence, yes, he did come before you. Your Honor.
He signed already.
He already
Okay,
signed
maybe,
on Johnson.
maybe I didn't fit. Okay, and then Rakisha Bibbs, Bibbs. I didn't see her on the list, but they gave me her paperwork.
She will be a bond out, Your Honor.
Oh, she did bond out. Okay. All right. So then whenever you're ready on those last 2, I'll be ready.
I'll bring Mrs. Johnson up first.
Okay.
Johnson. Yeah, how many of them said?
24 too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying 24.
She just don't want to be here.
Yeah,
He goes, yeah.
All right, sir. Are you Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson, you're charged with 1 count of prostitution and pandering and 1 count of sexual battery. The prostitution carries a bond amount of $20,000, sir. And the sexual battery carries a bond amount of $20,000 as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So your total bond amount is going to be $40,000, okay?
Okay.
Did you fill out the paperwork here this morning about getting a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second. I may have just moved you around. Give me 1 second, sir. Okay, I got you right here. All right, so Mr. Johnson, you are not currently working, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so because of that, sir, I am gonna go ahead, I'm gonna appoint you a court-appointed lawyer that will assist you on your case. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to you this morning. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, because these are both felonies that you were charged with, sir, that means that if you don't make that $40,000 bond that I just said, you will get a lawyer, you will get a preliminary hearing. That preliminary hearing is going to be August 12th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's August 12th, that's 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything from me, Mr. Johnson?
No.
Only other thing I need to tell you, sir, before you go is I did add special conditions to your case here. Those being that you are to stay away from the alleged victim in this case, Shadé Daly, A-L-L-E-Y, or excuse me, D-A-L-E-Y, and then Jakisha Grigsby, G-R-I-D-S-B-Y. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I don't even know who they are.
Okay, well then that should be pretty easy. All right, any other questions for me, sir?
No.
All right, sir, well, good luck to you.
Go on this. Stand up. Let's- And it's back to the house in a second. No, you're going, right?
All right, and are you Mr. Blair?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. I just wanted to hold you last. You're not in any more trouble than anyone else, but you had a lot going on here. And I wanted to make sure I got some information in that I needed in order to properly assess your case, and it just came in. So now I'm ready to move forward. So we're gonna go through all of these charges first, and then I will talk about your bond, okay?
All right.
So you are charged here beginning from the beginning, 1 count of failure to yield, 1 count of felony fleeing, 1 count of reckless driving, 1 count of too fast for conditions, 1 count of following too closely, improper lane change, driving on the wrong side of the road, improper turn signals, disregarding traffic control device, which is really running a red light, driving with a suspended license, improper stopping, failure to stop at a stop sign, obstruction, possession of a firearm, felony drugs again, more felony counts of drugs. You are charged with 5 counts of possession of a false ID as a felony. Then you are charged with 3 counts of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Then you are also charged with another count of felony drugs. You are charged with possession of drug-related objects. You are charged with 2 more counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana, and giving a false name. Do you understand that, Mr. Blair?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently, you're not currently working, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So I am gonna go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer that will be free of charge. I'm gonna talk to you now about your bond. Now, because of some of these charges here, I'm gonna tell you, some of them you were granted no bond. And so that means you're gonna have 2 court dates. Your first court date is going to be August 12th, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Your second court date is gonna be your bond hearing date, where a second judge can reconsider bond for you because I didn't give it to you on all of these charges.
That August 12th?
No, the preliminary is August 12th. The bond hearing is gonna be August 16th.
Okay.
Okay, now go through the bond with you. The failure to yield carries a bond of 500, the fleeing 10,000, the reckless driving 500, as for conditions 500, following too closely 500, the improper lane change 500, the disregarding a traffic device 500, the driving suspended license 1,500, improper stopping 500, failure to stop at a stop sign 500, obstruction of an officer 2,500. All of the firearm charges are no bond. Drug-related object is 500. All 5 again of the firearms are no bond. All 5 false identification charges should be no bond as well here. Let's change that, make sure that's correct. Considered and denied, okay. Give me 1 second, sir. I'm just, computer's being slow, just making sure we're caught up. Okay, the felony drugs is a bond amount of $10,000. The second count is also $10,000. The third count of felony drugs is $10,000. Then you were charged with felony possession with intent to distribute. That bond is $15,000. As I said, all firearms are no bond. Then you were charged with possession of less than 1 ounce, possession of more than 1 ounce of marijuana. That bond is $5,000. And then lastly, giving a false information to a law enforcement officer is $2,500. Again, all firearm charges are no bond. All false document charges are no bond. And so, as I said before, as a result of those charges being no bond, sir, You are sitting here regardless of some of them being given bond. You're gonna sit here until that next court date on August 12th. Then after that, then you'll be given the opportunity to have a bond hearing on August 16th. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, we've already talked about the fact that you are not working. So as I mentioned to you before, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you a court-appointed attorney free of charge. You will have an attorney at all court dates moving forward for you. So unless you have questions from me about any of this information I just provided to you, sir, that's actually all I have for you this morning.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thanks.
All right, gentlemen, that concludes today's first appearance.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Let's get him done. Be all right here.